We'll chant Om 3 times with the exhaled breath together. Take your attention to the eyebrow center with your eyes closed and inhale. Om. 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 Guru Ganeshabhyam Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay. So listen carefully today, whoever is here, because this is a very intense subject and we are not going to talk in a superficial way. I'm going to talk to you about the deeper meanings of the Vedic language. So first of all, most of all these, the devatas that we are talking about, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, Ushas, all these are part of the Vedic language. And we have to go into the Vedic language to find out what is the, what are they giving a hint about, because there are many rahasyasan who practiced his meditation on the Vedas, and he was completely isolated. And as it came to him, his revelations, he just started writing it down as and when it came. So that is why we are grateful to Sri Aurobindo here, because the whole secret of the Veda has been explained in a book of that name itself. He goes into the deeper meanings, the psychological meanings and things like that. So here we have in the Vedic idea of revelation, people say, this mantra was revealed to me. The sages said such and such a thing was revealed to me. I had a darshan of Hanuman, things like that. So we have to understand what are they talking about. So here in the Vedic idea of revelation, there is no suggestion of any miracles or supernatural facts. The rishi or the seer who employed those faculties, like supernatural faculties, they got it after a progressive knowing, experiential knowledge. It was a traveling and reaching. The Vedas are full of people. You would think that they are migrating when you listen to what they say, but they're always talking about people who are um, travelers on the path of truth. And as it advances, the soul is walking on the path of truth. And as the soul is advancing, it goes up also. So it's rising while it is going in front. So the soul ascends and the light happens to it by itself, because that is the light of the soul that they see. Because as they are going forward, they are putting aside all the karmas, all the uh, conditioning that they've had, giving up the old vasanas. And with all this, what happens is they reach the end of the journey. So this is the Sri Aurobindo says, the soul's march on the path of truth. As it advances, the soul also ascends new vistas of power and light open to its aspiration. It wins by a heroic effort its enlarged spiritual possessions. See, the spiritual possessions belong to the sadhaka. It is as if it has been kept in a like a Swiss bank deposit, but to reach there, he has to go, say, on a flight. He has to have a passcode. He has to show it at this airport, at the airport to Europe. He has to get a visa, and then he has to go to the bank. Bank, he has to show the relevant documents, and then only he will get the whatever has been kept for him in the Swiss bank. So we have to take a few few chants from the Rig Veda itself to understand what is Agni. So here the Rig Veda says, which all of us know, but again to reiterate, the gods are only different forms and expressions of one universal being who transcends all forms and expressions and who transcends the universe also. He is beyond that universe, the one universal being. The dimension is beyond, but he is everywhere. So it's something, but all the forms are part of it. Whatever powers you find, and in the Vedas, I'll say, the gods come with Agni. Agni takes the message to God. So for these gods are the same part, amshas of the same universal being. It's like as if, you have a body, that is you. Say, for example, I'll use Rajendra's name. Rajendra Prasad, he has a body. Then he has hands. He has legs. He has a tongue that talks. Now, each one has its own specific power and specific portfolio. The leg doesn't speak. It can only walk, but it can walk miles and take you anywhere. The hand can hold or give. It cannot walk, just like the leg. But you need to take things, you have to use your hands for it. That is its specialization. The tongue, the mouth comes for talking and interacting in that way. It cannot walk, it cannot talk. So these different powers, just like this, the universal consciousness or the supreme Parabrahman, is for him, everything in life is an amsha. You are an amsha, I am an amsha, this bed is an amsha. Everything is manifested from him and he is in everything also. This is the main point of the Rig Veda. So keep that in your mind. Whatever else is said, it goes around this. So the Agni, they'll say, Agni is Satya, the truth. Agni is one such power of Satyam. He brings around, this is the Vedic translation, he brings about the true fruit of sacrifice by giving goodness back to the sacrificer. So what do they mean by sacrifice? Sacrifice, they mean yajna. The havans which we do, Chandi yajna, we are doing it to Chandi, like that. So the term that he brings the true fruit of sacrifice by giving goodness back to the sacrificer. On the surface, what will we think? We would think that, okay, if I do the havan, I'm doing it for, maybe I want to get plenty of money to give to different people. So I'm doing a havan to say Kubera or something like that. And when you do the havan properly, many priests will tell you this also, you do it pakka with all the ingredients, with the correct mantras, and you will get the what you want, what you're looking for, that goodness comes to you. That is how we see it in a superficial way. And they say Agni giving goodness back to the sacrificer. You do a yajna, you get good results, but we have to look at it a little deeper. What is the yajna? It's a sacrifice. Where is the yajna done? The yajna is done in a yajna kunda. Now, where is the yajna kunda? It is not the yajna kunda that we see maybe in a temple or in an auspicious place or when there is a marriage going on. Everywhere they have havan kunds. Even in our ashram, we have every Saturday we have the Mahamrityunjaya Jap as a homa. So when you go deeper, what Sri Aurobindo was saying, it does not mean that it is that kund they are talking about. Where is the inner kund? The Agni Kunda, where is it? He says it is in your heart, in your chitta. So the fire that is burning to search for the truth, that is the fire that they are talking about, not the fire that you light outside with a matchstick. Then he says, he brings about the true fruit of sacrifice by giving goodness back to the sacrificer. And then the we come bearing prostrations. This is Rig Veda. We come bearing prostration. We come bearing namaskar, and to the shining, the protector of the sacrifice, to the shining one. So what do we mean by prostrations? It has been interpreted to mean that prostrations is surrender, no, namaskar. We put our head, no, not for me, it's you. So you are not doing this for getting something from the divine, from Agni. You are doing the Havan using Agni so that you are giving. What are you giving? You are giving your whole self. That is what Swaha means also. You know, when you say Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurti Namaswaha, if you say that means I'm giving myself. You don't have to have a Havan Kund in the traditional way at all. When you give yourself, if you just do it mechanically, you say, okay, I'm doing myself, get on with it and give me what I need. That's not how you do it. You do it with a great deal of adoring submission. You worship the truth, which is Agni, with devotion, saying, I'm giving you myself. That is why when you do puja, you usually, when you say something, you say, Shivaya Prityartam, Sadashiva Prityartam, Chandi Prityartam. That is for the satisfaction of the Devata whose name you are taking. There's a reason for this, that also I'll tell you. So then he says, it happens in your own house. Your own house meaning the house is your body, and in your body is the chitta, and in the chitta is the open Agni Kund. Now, there is a word called kratu. Kratu means action. Repeated work which you do again and again and again, you are doing the sacrifice. Like we do Mrityunjaya Mahamantra every Saturday continuously, the same way, but this we are doing it whenever we can. You're opening your heart out to the truth. And then he says, you come with the, this is Rig Veda I'm saying, you come with the power and strength in action. Now, if you want to do any action, you have to have power and strength. You can't come weakly and say, oh, I forgot to bring the ghee. And didn't we keep the summit here? You can't do that. You have to have power and strength. You have to have a determination for any job, not just this. So he says that is what Agni comes with, power and strength. Then there are three words that they talk about: Shravana, Shruti, and Shruta. Shravana is to hear. You hear something. Shruti is what is heard. Supposing I say, Swamiji, you are hearing the word Swamiji. So Shravana is the process of hearing, that you're hearing it, and the Shruti is what you hear, Swamiji. Shruta is the person who is hearing it. So knowledge like this comes as inspiration. And why do they bring this these words again and again? Shravana, Shruti, Shruta, Shravana, Shruti, Shruta, Drishti. Because they are now talking about supra mental, that's what Sri Aurobindo will call it, but they are talking about transcendental qualities of seeing and hearing something that is not seen and heard with your organs of eyes and ears. In fact, these qualities he are talking about is transcendental qualities. That is why Jesus, when he talks to his disciples, he'll say, those who can hear, let them hear. And if you didn't know the meaning, you'll say, of course, they're sitting in front of him, their ears are working properly. Why? They would be hearing. But that's not what they are talking about. They are talking about a transcendental hearing that comes to you because you have got this Agni in your heart. Now, heart again, it's not the physiological heart. It is a dimension of consciousness which is with the Anahata chakra. And they call it the heart of the cosmos, which is in you, me, everyone. It's the heart of what has to happen. And then they say it belongs to the rhythm. What is the rhythm? Rhythm means rhythm means the RTM. It means the Satya, the truth, which is operating in the cosmos. In other words, how is it that the sun is continuously moving? The earth moves around the sun. The moon takes its own course. The planets have their own course. The air is coming in and coming out, allowing every breathing um, being to breathe. It all comes together and it also comes in harmony. If you have rain, suddenly you won't have the sun breaking through the rain and coming. If you have a path for say Saturn or Mars or any of the uh, grahas, the planets, they are not going to suddenly say, okay, today I'm tired, I'll just sit, or I won't go, or I'll go in the opposite direction. It doesn't happen at all. Gravity, all um, powers in the universe, all beings in the universe, all creatures in the universe, even the plants and trees, everything acts according to a preordained pattern of which is ordained by the truth. Truth means something that was there yesterday, it is there today, and it will be there tomorrow. It's not a temporary happening. For us, if you say, I'm here today, few years from now, I won't be here. Many years past, I was not here. That is temporary, they call it, or transient. Permanent is that which was always there, which will always be there, and always will be here now. That means it's a permanent thing. And only truth is like that. You will have to bear with me clearing my throat every now and then, because that's the way the throat is today. So, what is this? What is Agni? If you want to do an action very well, what do you do? What do you need? You might need determination. You may need the passion for it. You may need love for who you're doing it for. But more than that, there is one big element. That element is a Sankalpa Shakti of the divine. Not my Sankalpa Shakti, not your Sankalpa Shakti. He makes a Sankalpa Shakti that now I'm creating this person, and he creates just like that. This person will search for the truth. Then you will find yourself searching for the truth. It means it is a grace of the divine being, which is called his Sankalpa Shakti, his whatever you want to call it. So Agni is the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine, which works in your heart and pushes you to do certain things and become successful in it. May not be immediate, but in the long run, it will always come true. When you have a guru, you don't have to worry about that, because the guru will take the instruction from the Paramatma, whose consciousness will flow through the guru, and he will see that what you are doing, what he has ordained for you, will be successful. So this is what the truth is. Again, getting it? The truth is the divine Sankalpa Shakti of Paramatma, the highest divinity, which enters your receptive heart. That is your chitta, your consciousness. It enters your chitta and it gives life there, activates it there, so that you start following the path that he has ordained. So that is what Agni is. Agni is not the fire that you ignite outside in the deeper spiritual sense. And then they say he came a god with the gods, meaning that all other powers will come. Once you have the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine, and it becomes your own Sankalpa Shakti also, because you have adopted it, you're receptive to it, then all other qualities, powers will come to you. Determination will come to you, equanimity will come to you, compassion will come to you, all negativities will be broken by this. Everything is given. It's like a royal road. He says, you just receive me and I will take you. So this is what is said. And then there is a question there, who guards the truth? Who has the illumination by his action? Who is the priest here? So then the answer is the same Agni. How does he guard the truth? Because it's the divine Sankalpa, the divine Sankalpa Shakti, nothing in the world can change it. Even if you willingly go away somewhere, you will go one round and you will come back, you have to enter the same door because he says you want to go and play a little bit, go and play. But then he has his hand firmly on your Sankalpa. So this Sankalpa Shakti is not the fire, is the truth. It is not the fire that you see outside, which they are talking about. There is fire outside. But here in the Vedas and in the spiritual context, what are they talking about? Not in the Homakunda. It is not the truth of moral or mortal sensation. That is, I think this is the truth. Because I don't mind, I'll steal a little from the hundi in the temple. And my guru is there, he will make it all right. That is your mortal sensation. But the divine, that sankalpa will be authentic. It is part of the truth. You can't trade with the divine and you can't play games with the divine. So what does this truth do? It moves you from mortality to immortality, this sankalpa. From duality, you see many people, no diversity around everywhere. You go to Advaita, you see there is only one divinity in every being in the world, whether he is Christian, whether he is Hindu, whether he is a Muslim, whether he is a Sikh. And this is what all religions say also when you go to listen to what the prophets and mystics of that religion have said. They're all trying to move you in the same path. So the main thing that you need to do to get to this is an adoring submission. You don't go in there fighting and kicking and fighting or screaming, say, I don't want to come on this. Why the hell are you pulling me? No. You start doing your japa. For example, you get a mantra diksha. You go on doing that japa again and again and again. You may be doing it even mechanically to start with, but the vibrations of the mantra that is given to you are the vibrations that are powerful because they come from the mouth of your guru, who is the representative of the Supreme Guru's consciousness. That Supreme Guru's consciousness flows into your Guru when he gives you a mantra diksha. He is not going to hang on to it all the time. For example, you want to have kheer one day and he says, Swamiji, I want to have kheer. He might say, this is an ashram, we don't have kheer. You can't think that this energy of the Guru will play games the way we play them in general life. Now, this is what we mean when we say Kayeva Vacha Manasa Indriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Swabhava Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana iti Samarpayami. That is my all my indriyas, all my mind, the entire mind, the body, everything is given to you. You do what you need to do because I'm helpless to work by myself in such a major place. Then everything in the Veda centers around this Agni. There are more prayers to Agni than to any other divinity in the Veda. And why is it? Because it's so important to get the grace of the divine, which is the divine Sankalpa. And it's so important for you to be open to receive it when it comes. So they keep talking again and again of the Agni. Now, Agni itself comes from a word called Ang. The root is Ang. Ang means something intense. It can be intensity in stillness, it can be intensity in action, intensity in movement. That is one meaning. Another meaning is a burning brightness. You know, you don't, if some people will say, you know, she's This person comes, she is talking about yoga. There is such a burning intensity. Doesn't mean she's in flames. It means the heart is burning to talk about yoga, like that. Then um, the Supreme Consciousness has created the whole world. Having created it, he sits in every particle, every paramanu. Every soul is a paramanu, and he sits in that and he drives it in a particular manner, which brings it closer to the divine. For everyone, it happens, whether somebody is good, bad, evil, it doesn't matter. You will find Mahishasura Mardini, the Devi killed Mahisha, she killed the body so that the soul could come and be unified with her. Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu so that he would free that soul from a body that was disharmonious. So when the soul and Paramatma is very, very neutral, there is no question of partiality there. Then all splendor of light and knowledge, glory and greatness are Agni's manifestations. If you find anybody having any fame, or you find somebody who is brilliant in something in their subject, or a great leader or something, this is an amsha of Agni, the real Agni that I talked to you. In the Vedic cosmos, Agni comes first as a divine force with blinding heat and light. It envelops and it devours the mind and its negative thoughts. You call Agni, what it does is it comes and it pulls out all that is negative in you, and then it devours it. Because you put anything in the physical Agni also, it burns it off completely to ash. The same uh, the same symbol they are giving here when they say that it comes as a divine force and it enters into and develops, envelops the Atma, envelops the body, also devours and rebuilds all things in matter. This is a form of force. Now, I don't know if any of you know, but when children go into their teenage, they act in strange ways usually. Their sleep patterns become changed, their mood swings are different. Sometimes they're paying attention, sometimes they're looking into the air, and sometimes you see parents getting annoyed. And they'll say, this boy was quite okay till now. Now he's not at all concentrating on studies. He won't get up in the morning to go. He keeps awake in the night, and we don't know what to do. Now, this is not an illness. This is the brain, when it comes to the age of 10 or 11, it starts deconstructing itself. That it breaks up all the links and then it puts it back together in the right way. Because as you're growing up, you will have many things happening in your life. Things can be negative, things can be disturbing, things can be damaging. But it is the beauty of the divine in Prakriti that every child's brain is deconstructed, all the negativity is pushed away, the neurons that send these messages, and you'll get the brain putting together what is the right way to be, what is good to be. So by the time he's finished his teens and he's 20 or so, 19, 20, you will find that the boy is suddenly alert, looking into what he has to do future for his studies, studying hard, he sleeps well in the night, he's awake in the daytime, he doesn't have so many mood swings. All this goes by the way it deconstructs and puts together. That is the consciousness which makes the brain do all this so that the boy will be productive for himself and for the universe. So that makes the brain work like that is the Agni Shakti or the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine. Then Agni is the seer will in the universe. That is somebody who is very high in their sadhana, that person gets a revelation. Okay. This revelation is from the universe, not from your own thought. Your mind will have to go to the side. You will see later when I talk about Panchagni sadhana. Okay. Why and how it becomes necessary for the Panchagni. Because now Agni is never makes a mistake. Your Sankalpa Shakti inside made by the divine is never at fault because it is guided by the light of the silent truth. And where is the silent truth in? It is in your own soul. The soul is in the chitta, in the heart area. And the soul is a dimension which is a part of that Atma, which in itself is small, has an amsha of the divine supreme consciousness. So you have, if you're a Shiva devotee, you will have Parashiva. If you're a Devi devotee, Parashakti or Narayana. If you're a Vaishnavite, the Father, Yahweh. If you're Jewish or Christian, Allah. If it is Islam, it doesn't matter what name you call him by, but there is only one divine consciousness, supreme consciousness that creates, protects, and samhara. It removes, dissolves you at the end. So this goes according to the truth, and the truth follows rhythm, the harmony in everything in the universe, so that we are all together in harmony. So other thing about Agni is, while all other powers sleep at night, Agni never sleeps. He's always there, whether you are sleeping or you're awake. That Sankalpa will be guiding you in dreams, in deep sleep, continuously awake. Whereas if you're looking for any other power, like determination, when you're sleeping, where is the determination? It's not there. When you're sleeping, where is your compassion? It's not there. Where is your warrior-like tendency? That's not there. But Agni will be there. Agni is the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine, and he is there all the time, even in the night when you're sleeping. Then they tell you that there is no sacrifice without Agni. When a person needs to do some havan, some yajna, and it may be an outer yajna, or you want to do something in your heart, you want to meditate, that's also a yajna. Teaching is also a yajna, learning is also a yajna. It is sacrificing a part of ourselves so that we learn or we share with other people. That is a divinity in all of us. So, no sacrifice is possible without Agni. In other words, unless the divine Sankalpa Shakti comes to you and you receive it, you cannot do anything. If he decides that you have to just sit, you will just sit, you won't do anything. So that is the power of the Agni. Agni protects the inner yajna, your search for the truth, against the power of darkness. So I don't want to take too much of this. Agni is called the son of force. Why the son of force? Your lower nature and your higher nature are rubbing against each other like churning. You must have seen when you went to Munger or anywhere when people are doing a very spiritual havan, they will use the arani, that is the two wooden parts. They'll be rubbed against each other to make the fire come up. They won't use a matchstick to. If you've seen it in Munger and all, you would see Swami Niranjan will be churning two sticks to make the fire come. So that is called the heaven and the earth. Your higher nature and your lower nature. You want to go out and steal something, and the higher nature says, no, I'm not going to let you steal because that is a temporary thing. You can get nothing out of it. So this battle between the higher and lower nature is called the fire that comes from the arani. And the higher nature is called heaven, the lower nature is called earth. In this context only. It is the mind, body, and the soul in different, the mind and body with its material nature, your soul with its spiritual nature. And when you want to completely go haywire with material desires, the soul will come in like an upper Agni, and it will invoke the Agni within you through the, because the divine wants you to find the truth. It doesn't want you to make mistakes. Now, Agni destroys all your negativity, and it also purifies your chitta. We hear no chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi means that you purify your chitta of your old conditioning. You see, nowadays, if you see politics, you will see a lot of people, both sides, will talk about absurd things just to stir up a quarrel. It seems seemingly very sensible, but actually it is not sensible. So things like that, if you are receptive to a higher energy, when you open your mouth to say something silly, the upper energy will make your mouth shut. So Agni is the most powerful, the most brilliant, the most impersonal of all cosmic deities. He's not partial, that energy. The divine Sankalpa Shakti is in every person. We see it or we not. We hear it or we don't. So Agni is also called Dvimatra, Matre. That is, two mothers he has. The heaven mother and the earth mother. That is the material, because don't throw away everything material. All this sacred is in the matter also. It only says be sensible, go on the middle path, whatever is appropriate, you need to take. For example, to live, you have to eat. You can't say, oh, I don't believe in eating at all, I'm going on a fast. Unless that fast is sensibly taken. Not because you think the food is all bad and it contains only the negative. It's not that. That is why the Veda will also say, Annam Vai Brahma. The food is also Brahman, because everything is Brahman. It has to coordinate with your physical body and your physical mind. Okay. Now, the divinity here, they say it purifies the sadhaka and gives him or her the divine illumination and the power to handle it. Getting the divine illumination is not enough. You have to have the power to handle it. We'll see that when we go to the chakras, because if your Agnya chakra is not working properly, you can get that energy and you can make a whole lot of damage for yourself. That is why you need a guru to pull you back when you're getting over enthusiastic or if you're lazy and don't want to go on. Now, he has 6 children, and their names are Pavaka, means purifier, Pavamana, purifying, Shuchi, purity, Agneya is his daughter, comes out of him, and Kartikeya or Skanda, he is born of the fire. Kartikeya or Skanda, they say, is Shiva's and Parvati's son, born out of Shiva's third eye. What do they mean out of Shiva's third eye? It is a direct Sankalpa Shakti which comes from the middle Bhrumadhya, the third eye of Shiva. And Shiva himself, as you saw in the previous class on lineage, is not a person. It is a certain state of consciousness, the supreme consciousness, which is also called auspicious or sacred. And his wife is called Swaha. In the Puranas and in the Vedic terminology, when you say somebody's wife or somebody's consort, don't take it in the human way of thinking, oh, she wears a sari and he wears a dhoti. It's not like that. A man's Shakti is his power that is born out of him. Now I'm talking, so this is my Shakti in talking. You're listening, that is your Shakti of listening. Shakti means the power and the capacity to act. The Shakti is different from Shiva. Shiva is a still consciousness, which is simply witnessing, not doing anything. To do anything, even to manifest as the universes, he has to have that power. That power and energy is called Icha Shakti. She manifests it. So, when you say Swaha, Su means the good, Aha means to call. So when you are calling, when you say Swaha at the end of any havan, it means you're calling what is good within you. Remember, that's not outside, within you. And the story that they say, she was so enamored of Agni, Swaha, she wanted to be with him always. So the gods, because they needed Agni, they um, they placed her name at the end of any mantra that is used for havan. So and so Swaha, Narayanaya Swaha, Ganeshaya Swaha. When you do Ganeshaya Namah Swaha, or you're doing something inside in your heart also, you may not say the word Nama, you might just directly go to Swaha when there is no outside fear because fire, because you are the fire inside. That which is aspiring for the truth is the fire, and that fire, um, its Shakti, its energy is called Swaha. And the Brahma Vidya Upanishad says that it is such a Shakti that it cannot be burnt by Agni. Anything else can be burnt, but it cannot be burnt by Agni. Because if you notice, the burning itself is Swaha. Okay, so that much for the uh, Agni. Because you asked me about Agni, then you said Kundalini Devi, and then you said Panchagni Vidya. So keep this in mind. You will find Agni coming up again and again and again. Tantra comes from two words, Tanoti and Trayati. Tanoti means expansion, Trayati means liberation. Kundalini literally means a snake, a coiled snake. And this coiled snake is the whole of the cosmic Shakti energy that is inside your Mooladhara chakra. I'll tell you a little about chakras later for those who are new and who don't know. So that Shakti is in the form of a coiled serpent. It's not a coiled serpent, that's the way it is. And when you awaken that Shakti and it starts working in you, it starts going up your chakras along certain psychic what do you call channels. They are called nadis. Nadis are not nerves, like many books and many people will say. They are not nerves. Nerves, you can dissect a body and see the nerve. A nadi you cannot see with your ordinary eyes because a nadi is a psychic phenomenon. It is a channel through which the energy pathways flow. You breathe in, you have prana, that which gives you life, vital force. It goes through a nadi called pingala, and it takes it to all parts of the body, your prana. Incidentally, much of this tantra has been practiced by people down south and in West Bengal. And down south, the people who got siddhis out of this practices, they were called the siddhars. So you want to find who is a siddhar, you can go to Google and you can see there are many siddhars. They are there, but they don't make a noise. They don't necessarily have an ashram. They might have a few disciples, and they would be in certain specific points which take in their energy and return energy to them. That is how many places become very highly powerful. So this Pingala, I was saying, the Siddhas, they used language that was like Malayalam and Tamil. Most of them, the Siddhas, they were from that area. Because that was encouraged, and we did not have too many invasions in the south. So we were relatively, we didn't have to take our things and run or get killed or something like that. So to a large extent, the south has been very pleasant to the Siddhas. So they gave these names. Pingala comes from the Tamil meaning Pin Kalai. Pin means the back. Kalai means the action it does. So why Pin Kalai? It is going there and then it takes a roundabout turn backwards and it goes all over the body instead of going right to the source. Ida, and it represents it's called Surya because that Surya is the Vedic god of the highest energy, the truth. And Pingala is a vital force that helps you to reach that force. So Pingala goes through this, and it is called the Ganga and the Surya Nadi because it's like the Ganges. It's very powerful. It rushes. If you remember the story of how the Ganga falls into Shiva's hair locks, so that it will not. It tried to sweep him away, but it was held captive there. So this is the Pingala. Then you have Ida, and Ida comes from the word Idam. Idam means your place. What is your place? The place of your devotion is Idam. And devotion is always associated with two things, feminine energy. While the Pingala being forceful is called the male energy, here devotion, which comes with Ida, and Ida is called the moon, Chandra Nadi, and a part of the moon Amsha that acts is called Chandrakala. And Yamuna is also called as against Ganga, Yamuna. Why Yamuna? Because Yamuna has a very feminine way of flowing. She would be flowing gently, and you say, how nice, you get into the Yamuna. Suddenly there will be currents coming and it can sweep you away. So it is very whimsical and unpredictable. So these are the qualities people saw in women, and they just used it not to make fun of or degrade a woman, but to give you a general idea of the sort of energy that each brings. Both these energies start from the Mooladhara chakra. Now you have chakras. You have what is called Mooladhara at the level of your perineum, Swadhisthana at the tip of the tailbone, Manipur at the level of the Nabhi, the umbilicus, Anahat at the level of your heart at the back, Vishuddhi at the level of your throat, and then you have a Lalana chakra on your upper palate there, and then you have Agnya chakra, Bhrumadhya chakra. This Ida and Pingala will crisscross each other. They go like this. If you have seen the wand that Mercury, the Roman god of healing, Roman or Greece, I don't remember, god of healing, he carries a staff like that. When you see it, it will be like two snakes that are going like this, like this. One goes from the right, left, right, left, right. That is a Pingala. The left.
You want me to show the pictures? You want me to show the pictures?
Yes, yes, yes. You can see these pictures as I keep talking. So I forgot all about the pictures actually. This is Agni with two heads. If you see it, he rides on a ram. Ram means a mountain goat, to show his force and the fact that he can climb up very quickly. Next one. Next picture.
Just a moment, it's just got hung.
Yeah. So while you're looking for it, I'll continue talking. Okay. So when we do pranayama, the right nostril is associated with the Pingala Nadi, the left nostril with the Ida Nadi, which is more emotional. Now look at this picture. You will see both, but you don't see the crossing here in this picture. You just see both so that people are acquainting you with what it is. So you just see right in the middle of your body, this supposing it's your body, the red triangle here down below is the Muladhar Chakra. Then above that is the Swadhisthana. Then you go to the middle, Manipur, then heart area, Anahat, throat area, Vishuddhi, and you go to the Bhru Madhya, that is the eyebrow center, Bhru Madhya, where the Agnya Chakra is. Next one, you can show. Now you see they've showed you how it goes round each other and reaches the Agnya, and at the Agnya it stops. And after that, the Shushumna goes higher. This is the third Nadi. This third Nadi is also called Saraswati. It's called also the Brahma Nadi. And all the nadis in the body, 72,000 nadis, which go in all over the body, the psychic channels, supplying every nerve, every tissue, every blood vessel with prana, energy, vital life. All this is yoked together to just these three nadis, the Pingala, the Ida. Pingala is the red one, the Ida is the white one. So you will see that at the eyebrow center, it comes to the Ida comes to the left and Pingala comes to the right. Okay. So if Pingala is the right nostril, then it goes to the energy goes to the left brain because it goes crossing. If Ida is the left nostril, the Ida goes to the right brain. And what's the difference in the Ida Nadi? You get the emotions, you get creativity, you get a holistic way of looking at things, like most women will do. And the Pingala Nadi, which comes from the right nostril, is attached, it works on the left brain. The left brain is sequential, logical, number oriented, language oriented. So it's a very structured thing. The right brain is a little more freer, not quite so structured. Next one. Okay, this comes later. Okay, so you can see this again. The Kundalini is dormant in this particular picture down. The Shushumna Nadi could be blocked. And this is for an ordinary person. The nectar means the bliss here. It could be stuck in the head and not going beyond. In this picture, you will see how the energies are flowing to different parts of the body, giving us prana. If you didn't have prana in your leg, you can't walk. So what happens? The unblocking happens with the mudras and pranayama. It starts helping here, and when you reach the head, when you keep your tongue at the upper palate as far back as you can do, Kechari Mudra, it unblocks the flow. So then the Kundalini goes higher and reaches the top of the head. Now what is important here is the heart area that we were talking about, Anahat Chakra. The Anahat Chakra is called the Surya Mandala. Why Surya Mandala? Because it's the place of Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari is space. Any space you see anywhere in the universe is Bhuvaneshwari. Even the space for an ant, that is through Bhuvaneshwari. Even if there's nothing in front that you don't see with your ordinary eyes, that is the power of Bhuvaneshwari. And she shares the Maya Bija mantra, cream, along with the sun. The Surya mantra is also cream. So this is called the Surya Mandala. And when you go higher and you come to the Sahasrar, the top of your head and above, it is called the Chandra Mandala because that is where the Tripura Sundari meets the Shiva. That is the Shakti and Shiva unite there. And in that joining, the person from the individual soul becomes a cosmic soul in whom it happens. When you have this cosmic soul, you have the bliss that is got from the union of Shiva and Shakti within you. You become like Shakti or Shiva. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on the watch also. So the Nadi, wherever this is, yes, this is the ram on which Agni is traveling. You can see Agni has two heads here. It also means light and heat. That means he has the brilliance to give you knowledge, and heat is the power to help you to work to get it. So these two, and the ram, it is the Manipur chakra. So it's at Manipur chakra that the fire is shown to be at its greatest. Even if it comes, your determination comes from Mooladhara. Mooladhara also is the place of Ganapati. Ganesha is the god who removes obstacles. And it represents the deity Brahma, the creative aspect of the divine. Brahma has four faces. He looks in front, back, to the side, left, and right. That is to show that creativity can be on all sides. It need not be one pointed and structured into one area. Now, this one sentence I'm going to say now is for Shweta Padma, who has been sitting on my neck for the past few days. It's about when you see the yantra of Mooladhara, which I've not put in here, you will find that it has 8 spears. Spear, veil, the weapon. Now the 8 spears will go one vertically on that square, then one horizontally, then one from one angle of that square down to the other angle on the left and on the right. That makes it 8. It refers to 8 directions: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, north, south, east, west. What is it referring to? The spear is what was given by Shakti, or the mother, to Subramanya. Who is Subramanya? If you earlier on I told you Kartikeya or Skanda, the divine teacher, who is also the commander of the forces of the divine. He is the son of Shiva. He is also the son of Agni in that sense. So he had to fight with a demon called Surapadma. And this demon could be killed only by a child that was born from Shiva. So the mother gave him all her Shakti in that spear. And what was the Shakti she gave him? It was Jnana Shakti, the Shakti of wisdom, the knowing the Supreme. Meaning that if you have the Jnana Shakti with you, nothing will be able to come and disturb you. No negativity can touch you anywhere in the world, north, south, east, west, wherever it comes from, the spears are placed there. So these spears represent protection, and they mean Jnana Shakti because Jnana is you will see, a little broad, and then it tapers at the tip, and it has a long stick like staff like to hold it. You've seen spears being thrown. That long thing's stem of it signifies the many years that you have to go into the sadhana to learn and receive the jnana. So that is the stem. The upper part, tip of it, is the jnana, which is one pointed, not getting sidetracked. But before you get it, you have to go through many areas, many dimensions: philosophy, practice, tantra, yoga. All this is showed by it's like a bud the straight stem, then a bud that tapers to the center. And that is to show the Shakti of the mother was given to Skanda or Kartikeya to be able to kill the Surapadma, who was a demon creating havoc. Now, this demon, what is interesting is when he tries with the spear to cut Surapadma, he becomes, Asuras, the evil people, demons always have different ways of changing their forms. It becomes a huge mango tree. Now, Skanda with that spear breaks the mango tree into two. Then he immediately becomes a cock that's the rooster. And then when he kills the rooster becomes a peacock. And the rooster is on the flag of Subramanya, and the peacock becomes his mount, Vahan. Now, there are 2 or 3 peacocks that are associated with Subramanya. One is the Pranava Omkara, which is with him always. That is the peacock he rides. Second thing is the Indra, when he was fighting with the Surapadma, who he could not defeat, he comes as a peacock. And the third is when Surapadma, the demon himself, died, he had so much bhakti, devotion for Subramanya that he wanted to be always with Subramanya. He became the peacock that was a mount of Subramanya. And in doing so, all his negativity was removed by the divine, and you saw he becomes purified. So these are the 3. This is Kundalini Shakti, the energy that flows up again through the next one. This is all Agni. That's all about the Kundalini. No pictures as well. The Kundalini Shakti or the Kundalini Devi is that what happens above your head, that is the opening of a blossom of 1,000 petals. That's the way they say collective consciousness. The whole world and its consciousness, you become part of that cosmic force. Now, this Devi, Kundalini Shakti, she has 1,000 names. She has many names beyond that also, but these 1,000 are called the Lalita Sahasranamam. One of the names is Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta, one who was born from the altar of the fire of consciousness. Chid Agni. That is what Swami Satyananda used to say when he had the Agni Kund, the Duni. That is not an ordinary Duni, it is the Chitagni, he would say, meaning the fire of consciousness. The Chit is pure Brahman. It is an altar of fire, and he dispels the darkness of ignorance with that fire. He lights the place and ignorance goes away. You see the light. In the fire of consciousness which is burning within you, without fuel, without interruption, it dispels the darkness of illusion. Now, in the same way, you see how consciousness is compared with fire? The fire of consciousness, the fire of Sankalpa Shakti, which belongs to the divine consciousness. Then after that, you have another name in the Lalita Sahasranama, and it says Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha. That is, it is bright, as she is bright as thousands of rising suns. And the sun, the moon, and the breasts are often called, the sun and the moon are the breasts, the eyes, and the earrings of Devi. The reason I brought this into it, Kundalini is also a fire. Agni is also a fire. She is the fire of liberation and protection, and Maya also. Agni is the fire of the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine. So this is 2 fires now that you have seen. There is another I'm making it short for you. Another fire called Surya. Surya is the Parabrahman. There's, in the Vedic language, it is Surya that gives the in the Anahat chakra and brings in the Lord of Truth at that point, because it's a Bhuvaneshwari. Its light at the heart is called Rhythm Jyoti. That is, it's the light of rhythm, the cosmic harmony. In the Veda, the word gold is constantly applied to Surya. You calls him the golden Satyam. And in Sri Suktam, she is called Hiranyam Jyotihi, which he is also called. That is golden light, because the light is so beautiful that it looks like gold. Then in the Vedic language, they say Indra. Indra is the king of the Indriyas. Indriyas are your Jnanendriyas and your Karmendriyas. All your organs that are movement oriented and which helps you to interact, and your organs of knowledge which you use to listen, see, touch, taste, feel. Each of the chakras is one Pancha Mahabhuta here. I'm not going into it. Starts with earth, water, fire, air, space. These are the five Pancha Mahabhutas that in various combinations become the whole universe. Eventually they will tell you that Agni in the form of Kundalini Shakti, no matter how much tapasya a person does, if he is not devoted, if he is full of personal ambitions, selfishness, wanting to get her for some energy or something, she will not go to him at all. In fact, she will take the energy he has and give it to a devotee, because she knows that it will be used for the well-being of the whole universe. So this is one thing. The triumph of light is a triumph of divine knowledge of the truth against the darkness of the false illusionary world. The, they say that when the divine knowledge comes, it is the ascent of the sun coming up, getting rid of the darkness, the herds of shining rays. Shining rays are many cows. They call them the cows. The word go means cow. It means pranava. It also means light. So the truth will come, Kundalini comes with the whole group of cows. Cows are light. That's what they mean. She comes with a whole lot of light. The Surya Mandala is associated with Bhuvaneshwari. I told you that. And then the Soma Mandala. Soma Mandala is your the moon. The moon is the word for devotion. It is the moon power in the Veda. Soma, it's called. Soma is equated with drinking an intoxicating fluid. They'll say that they are offering it to Indra and then to the priests, and they say they are making it out of a herb. That is the external aspect of what is talked about as an internal happening. When the Ida power, when the prana through the Ida goes again and again, then she creates the devotion just by your sitting and doing your job. She takes care of the rest. This is Kundalini. Now let's go to the final topic. Once more, just to tell you what is Agni. Agni is the divine willpower. Keep that there, Shreya, I'll tell you. It's a divine willpower called fire, Agni. The Sapta Rishis are the Angirasas. You must have heard of Angirasa Gotram. Angirasa and Atri mean fire. And they represent the Sankalpa Shakti of the divine that they have got completely for themselves, meaning that they will go always in the right path. They do not go to the left or right, because that energy, that power of the light, of the fire comes from Brahman, the seat of truth. So these 7 rays of the sun, of the fire here, which is called the Sapta Rishi, these 7 rishis, they are also called the 7 brilliant horses of Surya. The fire in the moon is cool, it nourishes and gives rest to all beings. So the moon is the bliss. The Kundali Devi, they call her, as bright as millions of suns and millions of moons. They are referring to her as eternal truth and infinite bliss. In short, she is on par with Parashiva, the highest auspiciousness. She is Parashakti, beyond the regular dimension. She is him. They are one, and they show that Parabrahman is Advaita. There are no two people. There's no Shiva and Shakti. They are one energy. So we'll go to Panchagni Tapas. Now, this is a sort of specific sort of meditation done with 5 fires, 4 wooden fires on all sides, and the 5th one is the sun on top. Now, when you are doing this on a continuous basis every day for months together, maybe years together, you would have heard of people standing in the middle of a fire on all sides and doing tapasya or ascetic penance done by Parvati to attain Shiva, like this. But many people do it, and you can understand that there is an extreme degree of physical pain there to sit there in front of the fire. In the process, what happens is the person sitting there has to disconnect from his body and his mind. And if he doesn't disconnect, he's going to feel the pain and he'll get up and he'll run away, or he'll succumb there. That is why when Swami Niranjan finishes his Panchagni Tapas and you happen to go there, don't run to him with a question, because his body is absorbing a lot of what it has gone through and healing. So here the symbolic Agni is the object of meditation. There are 5 important aspects of Agni in the context of the Panchagni Tapas. Panchagni Tapas was taught only to Kshatriyas because they had the capacity to handle pain. It finally came to a person called Uddalaka, and it was given by a master of the Panchagni Tapasya, the meaning of it. You will find this meaning in the Chandogya Upanishad and in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The person who had this revelation of what is Panchagni Vidya was a person called Pravahana Jaibali. He was a king in the Panchala state, and he lived at a time when Janaka, Sita's father, lived, and many rishis and kings who were all spiritually oriented lived at that time. They would get together and have great debates from time to time to see who was talking of the right thing. Now, this is very interesting because you must have heard the term Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. Now, Shvetaketu was the son of Aruni Uddala, and he was sent to the ashram to learn. He came back after learning, after 12 years, when he was 21 or so. The way he walked into the ashram, his father knew that he was arrogant. To some extent, he was feeling pride consumed him. So his father asked him, now, tell me what you have learned. The boy tells him what he has learned. Then he says, now, have you learned that knowing which you don't need anything else, you know everything? So the boy said, I never heard of it. So he asks him to bring a seed of any tree. He brings I think he brings a banyan tree seed, something like that, doesn't matter. And the father says, look inside. What do you see? He said, nothing, just the seed. Don't you see a banyan tree inside? He says, no, I don't see. And he says, put it in the soil. Let's see what happens. So some years later, this became a plant, it became a tree, and it became a banyan tree. So then he asked Swetaketu, where did this banyan tree come from? So his son says, oh God, it came from that seed which we planted. The father says, but we didn't see any banyan tree inside the seed. How do you get a banyan tree when the seed is there? And in that way, he teaches Swetaketu that everything in the universe is created and comes through a certain consciousness in the universe. This is the Mahashakti. Then Swetaketu was very pleased. He started working with his father, and one fine day they heard that this this Pravahana Jaivali king was having a satsang, and the satsang was debates. So Uddalaka Aruni, his father, said, I'm not going because now I can't afford to go. I have work here. This boy Swetaketu said, I'll go. So Swetaketu went off to the palace where 3 or 4 people, the top scholars, were sitting. So Pravahana Jaivali, what he did was because he was a king, a Kshatriya, and he said, this is a Brahmin boy. So he takes him in with great aplomb and glory and all that. And then he says, since you have come for this debate, you must be very well educated. So he said, yes, I'm very well educated. And then the king says, you know everything then? He says, of course, I know everything, he says. And the king says, then I'll ask you just 5 questions. These are the questions. The king asks him, do you know when people depart from this world, where do they go, my dear boy? Shwetaketu says, I don't know. Then the king asks, second question, do you know from where they come when they are reborn into this world? Boy says, I don't know this answer also. Okay. Do you know the paths along which the soul ascends, known as Devayana and Pitrayana? Devyana and Pitrayana. Why is one distinct from the other? Boy says, I don't know the answer to this also. Then fourth question, why is it that the other world is not filled with people? So many are dying, no? And why is it not overflowing? How is this world able to contain people and is never flooded with them? Shwetaketu said, this also I don't know. Then do you know there are 5 oblations that are offered, and how the 5th oblation as liquid becomes a human being? Boy said, I don't know this also. Then the king asked him, how is it you said you were well educated? You can't answer even 5 questions. What made you think you are well educated? So the boy felt very disgraced in front of everybody. And then he went back to his father, and he yelled at his father, like most children do. He said, you didn't teach me properly. I made such an ass of myself there. So father said, what was it he taught you? So he said something called the Panchagni Vidya. Then the father said, I too don't know what it is. If you want, you can say here, I will go there and learn from um, Pravahana Jaibali. So this man comes, this Rishi, see his humility. He comes and does namaskar, surrenders to the king, and he says, my son said there is a new Vidya that you know, and that is called Panchagni Vidya. I have come to learn it from you. So what did the king say? He says, you better get ready to stay here for a long time. You can't learn it overnight. You need a certain training before you become receptive. So he said, before you came, this Vidya did not go to Brahmins. That is why it was always with the Kshatriyas. But when I teach you, when you stay for many years with me, then you will know what it is, and you will be the first Brahmana who has got this Vidya. This is Shwetaketu's father. Now, what he says is, now you can show the pictures. The first fire, he says, this is the second one. The first fire, he says, is when you, what do you call, you do a yajna, and he likens it to a person who does the Agnihotri Vidya sacrifice. Some people do it morning and evening. By that sacrifice, he says, the fire, the jivas become Soma Rajas. That is, their souls become devoted. They become like the moon. So the first fire is the moon here. And becoming having devotion, they enter heaven. Now this jiva, Somaraja, he is called the king among them, becomes the moon. How does he become the moon? He is the oblation to the gods of rain. Parjanya, you saw one picture earlier on. This one. It's a powerful mantra to bring rain. So when there is drought in the country, sometimes many Vedic scholars will sit together and do this mantra. So this is Parjanya. Now, when the rain, this jiva is the oblation. He offers himself to Parjanya, and the rains reach the earth and food grows. The next one, Shreya. This is the moon. When the moon has a circle around it like this, it means that rain is coming. So this is the moon. Then the next picture. This is the rain coming to the earth. When the rain reaches the earth becomes a Homakunda there, and food grows. Because without rains, nothing grows. Then the next one. When a person eats this grain, he becomes strong and he becomes capable of producing a child through better sperm quality. So this is the man, the fourth fire. And the fifth fire is the oblation, where when a man sleeps with his wife, the seed of the man which is born in him, the fifth fire, a newborn is produced when the sperm and ovum join. So these are the five fires that the person doing Panchagni tapasya meditates upon. He or she or whoever does it will meditate on the fire that is originally the fire of the sun, the fire of truth. It goes into and becomes devotion, like the moon. Even physically it happens. Then the moon makes the fire, takes time, and it brings out the parjanya, the rain. And the rain flows into the earth, and the earth makes things grow. And when things grow, the man comes and eats it, and he becomes strong, and his seminal fluid moves into the woman, and with the ovum, it becomes a baby. So that is what he means. How is it that something liquid becomes a human child? Here, Shwetaketu, very much like his father said, how is it that seed is a banyan tree? You don't see the banyan tree, no? So do you see the fluid that goes into the woman and it becomes conceived when it moves with the ovum? It needs the fire of divine sankalpa. The divine grace, the divine fire has to come in here and make this ovum and this particular sperm join together, because it is the fire of consciousness. It is like a genetic print. And it is this fire of consciousness that's present everywhere in the universe. So they say when the Agnihotri performed the tapas, he became the moon, Somaraja, or he becomes greatly devoted, and he enters the Svargaloka, the heavens. Here he does the oblation and through and makes the years go by, then the rain falls. And then when the rain reaches the earth, food is grown. And when the food grows, the man who eats that grain, because he comes as the person who is an Agnihotri, for example, he has gone into heaven, he becomes the moon calls down rain, he comes down with the rain, the consciousness of the rain. Remember, everything has consciousness. He comes down with the rain and he gets into a plant that is growing and into the grain of that plant. And some person comes and eats that grain, and this person who is the grain, because he has got into the grain, he also goes into the other person and forms the sperm. And his consciousness, remember, it's not the physical man who gets up and goes there. His consciousness goes there. And then when he sleeps with the woman, that consciousness, which is in the health, his vital organs, produces the sperm. Sperm meets with the ovum, and that becomes a child. So the greatest Homakunda, they say, is the woman who takes the child in, who takes a sperm in and nourishes it till it becomes a fetus, and which she delivers into the world to carry out its karma. So they say, if you know this Vidya, that this is what happens, you will not at any time say that this is my child, this is your child, this is his child. You don't know whose child, whose consciousness is coming down because of the Satya Sankalpa, because of the fire, the divine fire of Sankalpa, saying this child will be born here. It will come out of this sperm and this ovum. It's born there. It's ordained by that consciousness that this child who is born will become an engineer, a doctor, a no good person. And if you remember, I talked to you the other day about Ishvara, and Ishvara has the capacity to walk with the being that is produced, that human being, consciously moving him and turning him towards the path that is ordained for him. So this is what she does. And when that child, the person is born, he lives as long as he is destined to live, whichever it is. And then when he dies as ordained by the divine, he is carried from here to the fire from which he came, the divine Sankalpa. He goes back to the divine. So I asked you that, I said to you, he asked, what is the path of Devayana and Pitriyana? Devayana is this knowledge which a person has imbibed, the Panchagni Vidya, and he goes and does the Agnihotram, and he then goes up to the Swarga, and after certain time he comes down with the devotion, he comes down as a moon. See the samskaras he comes with, he's not just a human being. He gets into the grain, and when this man outside eats this grain, he's also the ordained person. He eats this grain, the other person's samskaras come into him comfortably, the man's consciousness. And then with that, with the woman, he makes a child, and the child carries the samskaras of the divine sankalpa. This is as far as fire will go. Now, you will wonder what has the some swamis who are sannyasins, what have they got to do with all this? Because this is a meditation. And Swamiji used to say, Swami Satyananda, that you cannot sit in the middle of 5 fires, 4 fires, even one fire for 24 hours if you did not cut down on the Shatari, the 6 enemies inside: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Lust, anger, Lobha, greed, Moha, falling for every illusion around, Mada, Matsarya, vanity and arrogance with what you have. All that has to go. You have to be a nothing. You have to be just a waiting womb. In other words, man or woman, you are waiting for the divine to fill you with the truth. So, a person who is a sannyasi like Swami Niranjan, Swami Satyananda, people like that, they say it's not an outward ritual, it's a meditation in every part of our body and mind is harnessed for that for the purpose of knowing and seeing the truth. Even our insignificant life in this world, in this physical world, is controlled by factors that are beyond everything, planets, sun, stars, other universes. This is much beyond, and it is to show us how our thoughts influence the um, atmosphere. Our thought, my thought, your thought, what we are thinking about now, it will go as vibrations. And these vibrations accumulate as like what we call aura today, depending upon the um, intensity of the thoughts and if it's a good thought or not. So when a lot of people together in a satsang bring out good thoughts, they can make the earth into a celestial region. That is the understanding that they have. That is what Swami Niranjan means when he says Mana Prasad, the prasada of a happy mind. Then it's not just for you, it's for the entire universe or even universes. This is not just done for one person. One person becomes an Agnihotri who is receptive to that fire of Satya Sankalpa, and his body and mind is used for a purpose by the divine, for a great purpose. So what is Panchagni Tapas? Not just sitting in the middle of 5 fires, because even a chef can do it, A woman who's cooking for a hostel will be sitting sometimes in the middle of 5 fires. That's not it. It is when a yogi does it, he is creating a world of happiness and compassion and love. That is his dharma. He has to do it. So this is about the fire I told you today. It's just 4 minutes late. So that's
No,
okay.
no. Swamiji, you wanted to put that Agni chanting from the Vedadhara.
Oh, put it now. Put it now. Yeah, you can put it now. Close your eyes. Look at the picture. And slowly chant Om in your mind softly as you're looking at this picture that's coming in.
पाहि माग्ने मा पाहि माग्ने माग्ने दुश्चरितादग्ने माग्ने दुश्चरितादग्ने 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 दुश्चरितादा मामा दुश्चरितादा मा दुश्चरितादितिरो चरितादो मामा सुचरिते मामा सुचरिते मामा सुचरिते भज सुचरिते मामा सुचरिते भज सुचरिते भज मखस्य भज सुचरिते भज मखस्य इति सुचरिते मखस्य भज मखस्य शिरो मखस्य भज मखस्य शिरः शिरो मखस्य शिरो मखस्य शिरोसि शिरोस्य सगो समस्य शिरोसि सगो समस्य ज्योतिषा समस्य ज्योतिषा सगो ज्योतिषा सगो ज्योतिषा ज्योतिः ज्योतिषा ज्योतिरन्तां ज्योतिरन्तां
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Always remember that you are not people who are ordinary. You have been ordained for something much higher. Your souls are much greater than your body and your mind that you are identifying with. And be receptive to the divine Sankalpa working in you. Hari Om Tat Sat.